Playing around with nuclear weapons in videos can be thrilling. There's a strange satisfaction in watching explosions and a haunting curiosity about fireballs, shockwaves, and radiation. While these visuals give us a glimpse into humanity's destructive capabilities, they don't fully convey the real consequences of a nuclear detonation. This video isn't about stacking TNT or marveling at the brightness of an explosion. Nuclear weapons are about people. That's why we've teamed up with the Red Cross and Red Crescent movement to explore what would happen if a nuclear bomb were set off in a major city today. Just one explosion, not a nuclear war. Kurzgesagt intro music. Our story begins in the bustling center of a major city. People are on their way to work, studying for exams, lost in their everyday thoughts. Then, in a split second, a nuclear bomb goes off. Time freezes. The first phase unfolds in under a second. A ball of plasma, hotter than the sun, expands to over 2 kilometers across. Inside, everything and everyone vanishes, like water dropped onto a hot pan. A sizzle, then nothing. Buildings, cars, trees, sculptures, people all evaporated. The flash comes first. An overwhelming wave of light sweeps across the city. Looking directly at it would leave you blind for hours. This light releases a thermal pulse so hot that it ignites everything up to 13 kilometers from the explosion. An area of roughly 500 square kilometers filled with plastic, wood, fabric, hair, skin is on fire in an instant. You're on your way to work 1 second, the next, you're engulfed in flames. Then comes the second phase. This one takes a few seconds. Many people realize something is wrong, but it's already too late. The flash is followed by a shockwave. Heat and radiation from the fireball create an expanding bubble of superheated, pressurized air. This bubble races outward faster than sound, with winds stronger than any hurricane. Buildings within a kilometer of the blast are pulverized, only steel-reinforced concrete structures hold any ground. In parks, smoldering trees snap like toothpicks, and people outdoors are swept away like dust. The shockwave weakens as it spreads, but over an area of 175 square kilometers, homes crumble like cards, trapping thousands. Gas stations ignite, and fires erupt across the ruins. A mushroom cloud rises high above, casting a dark shadow over the destruction below. This cloud pulls in fresh air, further fueling fires and reducing structures to ash. Beyond the immediate blast zone, people up to 21 kilometers away rush to their windows to capture photos of the mushroom cloud, unaware that a shockwave is still barreling toward them, shattering glass and filling the air with shards. The third phase begins hours to days later. Normally, we expect help to arrive during a disaster, but after a nuclear explosion, help is unlikely. A nuclear attack combines all the worst effects of natural disasters. Hundreds of thousands, even millions, would be severely injured: burns, broken bones, lacerations. In the minutes and hours that follow, thousands more would succumb to injuries. Many people are trapped in collapsed buildings, blind or deaf from the blast, or unable to flee streets clogged with debris. They're confused, terrified, unaware of what has happened. Nearby hospitals are gone, destroyed along with other buildings. Doctors and nurses are injured too, if they're still alive. Even those fortunate enough to have been underground or in the right place at the right time haven't truly escaped. Depending on the type of weapon, location, and weather, an awful black rain may fall, coating the city in radioactive ash and dust. Radiation takes its turn as an invisible, silent menace. Every breath is tainted with poison. In the days following, those who received the highest doses will die. Without power, water, or communication, infrastructure grinds to a halt. Survivors are isolated. Even nearby cities struggle to reach the blast zone, as radioactive contamination poses a severe risk. After a nuclear attack, survivors are on their own. As days pass, people emerge from the rubble on foot, carrying what little they have left. They are in pain, traumatized, and desperate for food, water, and medical care. But the damage of a nuclear weapon lingers. Hospitals in neighboring cities are overwhelmed with the influx of severely injured patients, underprepared to cope with a disaster of this scale. In the months and years ahead, cancer rates will rise among survivors. Governments rarely talk about these realities, and for good reason. No system can truly respond to the impact of a nuclear detonation. It's not just a hurricane, wildfire, or earthquake, it's all of these, intensified. No country on Earth is ready for this. In recent years, world leaders have once again threatened each other with nuclear weapons, and experts warn that the risk of a strike is as high as it's been in decades. Countries tell their citizens that nuclear weapons are necessary for protection, but does that actually make us feel safe? One person, one small group, one mistake, could set off an unimaginable catastrophe. Explosions in videos are fun. Real explosions are not. But there is hope. The only way to prevent this nightmare is to eliminate nuclear weapons entirely. In 2017, nearly 2/3 of the world's nations, supported by countless organizations and the International Red Cross and Red Crescent, agreed to ban and eliminate nuclear arms. The problem isn't who owns nuclear weapons, it's the weapons themselves. They are a threat to us all. No matter where you're from or what you believe, we must demand their end. This won't happen without pressure. If you want to be part of that effort, visit nodonukes.org to learn how you can help.